Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wind Down. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I have to be real with y'all after I take this sip of my faux zay, which clearly I've been chugging prior to us. Nothing like a little faux zay, you know what I mean?
To end out the week?
Yeah. There is a fly that is all up in our business. I'm not going to lie.
It's true.
It's giving me an eye twitch. It's driving me crazy.
I've been calling it names.
Like it's a little too comfortable, all right?
Yeah.
It's like in our personal space. So it might make an appearance in the episode. We tried to escort it out of, the space, but it likes
the show
us.
must go on.
The show must go on. Okay, so we're going to be talking about summer weekend trips.
Weekend warriors.
Yeah, there's a lot happening right now that... Is it worth it? Is it worth it to take that weekend getaway? And we're kind of pulling from this article, the summer long weekend has rarely been this hard to pull off from the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
I mean, it was just Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So I think this is fresh and top of mind for a lot of people.
Were getting away.
A lot of people got away last weekend, and it's the start of the summer season where people want to go do things. They want to see friends. There's lots of weddings this year. There's more weddings this year than there have been in the last 20 years. Because there's such a pent-up demand. Right?
Everyone wants to get married. I mean, I knew there would be, because over the pandemic, a lot of weddings were canceled. So now
they're all happening.
Yeah, it's all happening right now. I didn't realize it was the past 20 years. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Love is in the air. Right? 2022.
I have coworkers who are going to weddings on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays of the same weekend because
What?
Yeah, they just have so many people getting married this year.
Talk about quick weekend getaway planning that you have to do. And if you have to
travel for them,
especially if you're flying with all of these flight cancellations that are happening.
Right.
I mean, it's out of control. And the airline's just rebooking for you.
Yeah. And just saying, oh, you can fly in 3 days?
Yeah, it's out of control. It really is. This just happened to me, and I'll tell a story about it. But it's, if you're booking a flight just for a couple days to get away or because you're going to an event, right, that has a definitive time and place. Right. And your flight is delayed 2 days, you've missed said event.
Right. I mean, even if you're booking a weekend getaway and there isn't a wedding or a shower or something,
right?
You've bought a hotel for those nights.
Yes.
It might not be there the 2 nights that you're able to actually go.
Right. And
especially at the rate that you've paid or whatever.
Yeah. And also rates are higher too right now. So there's that to factor in. So you're going away for 2 nights. So on top of potentially, not having a flight to get to your destination, you've likely paid a lot of money to stay somewhere because costs have jumped up massively. 2 of the places is Charleston, South Carolina, and Miami. It's gone up an average of $100 a night for a room, right? Which I can attest to because my husband and I recently took a 2-night stay trip to Miami. Thankfully, our flights were on time. But looking back on it, was it worth it for 2 nights at that price? We were so desperate for a getaway, and I didn't realize Miami was one of the
top destinations.
Yeah.
Well, you were also going. So again, especially during the East Coast, you want to go someplace warm during the springtime because you just need that warmth and sunshine. Yeah. So totally.
When February hits, you just get desperate.
You're just you get desperate.
Miami,
right? I think it's interesting. So we just drove to Florida.
Yes.
And we did that because even when we were looking at flights 6 months ago, it was going to cost us $1,500 for 3 people to fly. And constantly checking the flights, and even with gas prices surging. So obviously
it still came out cheaper.
We had decided to drive before, gas prices have quadrupled almost, or at least doubled. But even still, it was a third of the price.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so you really did make a smart financial call when it came to that.
But you're also but it's the time cost analysis.
Yeah.
Like, is your time worth
you have to take more time off,
you have to take more time off. You know, both my husband and I like driving, and we like, you know, kind of seeing the country and doing, you know, oh my God. We stopped at this roadside stand, and it was
I was going to say, you two like food. We like getting food and like trying new food.
We do. We tried to find, oh my God, we were driving through South Carolina, and we saw this road stop sign for a barbecue spot, and we were like, yes, that place looks legit, like, let's go.
That's so fun.
And we like drove off the highway on like, you know, it's like 4 miles off the highway. We're like, yes. It was closed because it was closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And we're like, oh man, looked super legit.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we didn't get it. But we stopped at this roadside stand on the border of North and South Carolina called South of the Border. And if you've ever driven on 95 in that area of the country, you definitely know South of the Border because there are billboards for like miles in either direction.
Oh, wow. They know how to advertise.
Oh my gosh. And it was just hilarious. Like a roadside stand from like a road stop from like the 50s, out of the 50s.
Was it worth it?
It was, the nostalgia was worth it.
Okay, it's like the experience.
The experience.
I see, okay.
The food, not so much, but like the stopping and like seeing, you know, the nostalgia was worth it.
So you sort of made the road trip a part of the trip overall.
Yes.
It was a part of the experience rather than feeling like you're losing days or losing work days. And like, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it that way, it totally does make sense to just kind of hit the road.
Yeah.
But average gas costs right now are $4.60.
Oh,
I know where I live, it is actually around $4.90 everywhere. And depending on where you are, I know in other places it's well past $5.
Yeah. I have friends in California who are paying like $6.
Yeah, it's
$6.50.
It's out of control. When we fill the tank right now, it is like it's painful and I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everyone's in the same boat. But apparently a lot of people are not driving. They're like actually, you know, trying to find alternative methods or just, you know, get on that bicycle.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, it's good for the environment.
It is. It is indeed.
Kind of backtracking to the flights. I had an experience with this because I know that there's a lot of cancellations and we were talking about this and you were saying that it was due to, well, weather is one, which is
Weather's
always
a big factor.
You know, a factor, especially as weather becomes more like
and there's not
crazy.
A lot that airlines can do about weather, right?
Weather. Totally. But then another one is lack of workers available. Is that right?
Yes. Staffing.
Now, I was recently in Chicago visiting my sister and I was coming back to New York and I don't know if they were being honest with me. About 2 days before my flight, I got a text message update saying because of weather, it's like your flight will likely be canceled. Would you like to rebook for free? And so I checked the weather. I'm like, wait, it looks fine. Blue skies all the way to New York. It looks gorgeous. I was like, no. So then cut to a day before, I get another text message that says, if you're willing to rebook your flight, we will offer you
money. Yeah. Well, it depends on if you can.
Right. And I was kind of like, I wanted to get home.
Yeah.
I'd been gone. I wanted to, you know, relieve my husband of the parental duties and I wanted to see my child. And I was like, no, I want to keep my flight. It was a good flight time. I want to keep my flight. So 4 hours before my flight, I get a text message, your flight is canceled. We will automatically rebook you. And I was like, oh, funny. So it started with weather. Then it was, hey, if you're willing to do this, we'll pay you. To, sorry about it, your flight's canceled. It was really inconvenient and annoying. I ended up rebooking it and it was fine. And it was like within an hour of that flight and it wasn't a big deal.
All right. But you were also flying from a hub to a hub where there's a lot of options.
Yes, I was not jumping around. There wasn't like any connecting flights involved. But this was the first time I was hit by this. And then, you know, my sister and her husband, they were telling me, yeah, this is like crazy and this is happening. And then in this article, I'm reading that it is like just thousands of flights are being canceled.
Yeah.
So that's really going to put a wrench in 2 to 3 day, travel plans that people might have.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to be here drinking more wine, faux wine, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to be talking about crazy travel today with prices, with flight cancellations, gas, rental cars, apparently.
Yes, rental cars are way more expensive.
And you all, you rent on the regular because you don't have a car because you don't need one. You live in Philly.
Correct. We do not own a car, so we rent cars when we need it.
Yep. And have you noticed this surge in price?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think also it's a twofold factor. One, they are more expensive because more people are renting cars.
Right.
But two, they were so cheap during the pandemic that it's hard to get used to kind of more expensive than normal prices.
We've gone from one extreme to another.
I think the same is true for airlines too. Tickets for airlines are at least at pre-pandemic levels, it feels like, where we've been used to being there's nobody on the plane, there's nobody flying, blah, blah, blah,
totally.
blah, blah.
I remember tickets to, my dad lives in Florida, and I remember tickets to where he lives, they were $50 or something like that.
Totally.
And I was like, wow, I wish I was comfortable flying right now because I'd fly everywhere at these places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't end up going on a trip, but we had tickets that were round trip $70 to Miami at one point last year.
Yeah.
We had to cancel for reasons other than wanting to, but we had scheduling things that ended up happening.
Yeah.
But we were just super bummed because there were $70 round trip flights.
It was a steal.
It was a steal.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back to talk a little bit more about all of the things about trying to get away just for a couple days these days. Whew. Welcome back, everyone. Look what I did.
Oops.
If it was actually alcohol, that would be one thing, but well, I remember my husband and I, how could I forget? Everyone called him patient zero of COVID on Broadway. They said he shut down Broadway. I think he was just the only honest person to call in and say, I have these symptoms. I think I might have it. And then Broadway shut down. Anyway. And everyone got it. And it was that first strain, bad. And we both got it so bad. But then we had it. We had already had it. And so then we were like, well, can we fly now? But you still felt kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much we just don't know. And I don't know. But yeah, there was part of us that really, really badly wanted to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we didn't. But we definitely looked at a lot of them. We're like, $40 to, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yes.
So yeah, there is some shock factor going on with these crazy price hikes on literally everything. That when we were in the pandemic, all of those things were so much cheaper. I mean, hotels,
gas, flights, everything. Gas. Everything. There wasn't as much demand, except for cars. Cars, buying a car has gotten more expensive. Leasing and buying used cars has gotten more expensive because of demand. Renting cars fell off a cliff and nobody was renting cars except for us.
Right.
But so that was nice for
I feel everyone needed a car because everyone was moving back to the suburbs.
It's true. Yes.
Everyone
they
was,
were.
I mean, I can speak by experience. All of my friends who lived in Manhattan moved out of the city during the pandemic. It was just...
And even if you might have been taking the other thing was if you were taking public transportation to get to work, maybe you already lived in the burbs.
Yeah.
But
you didn't want to get on it.
You didn't want to get on it.
No.
And
it was the cesspool for disease.
Exactly.
It was the subway system in New York City. I'm pretty sure that's where we probably got it. Yeah.
So, there's that factor too.
Yes. Anyway, on Memorial Day travel this year, dropped to pandemic levels.
Yeah. So that's crazy that it's back at what it was before the pandemic.
I know, and that's even with people being more eager to like get out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so like, you know, all of these factors are starting to affect people's decision about like, is it worth it for these small getaways?
Right.
Or is it worth it for more of like a long-term, you know, we have room to accommodate for flight schedules and, you know, you get more bang for your buck maybe? I don't know.
I mean, typically for Memorial Day weekend, my sister-in-law lives up in Connecticut on like a cute little beach town. And so literally the last 2 years, we've gone up there for Memorial Day weekend to celebrate. It was like in 2020, it was the first like human contact we'd really had outside of our own house.
Right.
And so it was a really big deal and it was such a wonderful time. And even last year, it was like such a great way to start the summer.
Yeah.
But this year we're like, it's going to be too much traffic. We're good. We just saw you in Florida. We're good.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her today and she was just like, I'm like not leaving my neighborhood this week. There's just too many people in our town. Like there's too much traffic. There's just too much going on.
Yeah.
No, I'm staying put.
It's like, funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, well, I'm glad. Well, it'd be fun if we were there, but I'm also glad we aren't.
Yeah, I know. It's like, we're just like, we're living in different times now. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Gas prices in 2008 were still higher than they were today. And at that time, I was living in New York. I didn't have a car. I wasn't paying attention to gas prices. I didn't realize they were higher than what they are today. That's.
I think if you account inflation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, you know, so yes, your dollar spend was lower then, but like the value was higher.
Yes.
It's funny. I definitely had a car and I was commuting actually, you know, like 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away, depending on traffic.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being so bad. But maybe it's just because I was used to paying high gas prices in California.
Yeah, right. I know. And well, I don't know, when you're younger too, it's like some things just, I don't know.
Right.
I remember like when I first got my license, like 18, you know what I mean? Like 16 through, And, you know, I was in high school. I would take soda cans. I call them pop cans. I'm from Michigan. I said it earlier and I was like, did that just come out of my mouth? I thought like these are habits I broke a long time ago. Soda cans, and you could like turn them in for like, you know, 25 cents, 10 cents or whatever it was. And I would literally go to the gas station and put in like $1.50 of gas. I really would be like, I'd be like watching it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would just be like, whatever money I'd come across, I'd go and like, that would get you nowhere today.
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You go around the block.
Yeah, it's sad. Well, I'm out of my faux so I guess that means that's a wrap for another episode of The Wind Down. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week to talk about who knows what. But we're going to have some more topics to dive into and some more wine to drink. So we will see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm empty. I don't know if that's bad luck, but you know.